But I call on you all, join with me, and we can get those alternatives up. You can make a difference. We can take these people on, and we can win! 25,000 cars for stage 1, let alone if this goes all the way through to the Warrego Highway and brings 75,000 cars and trucks all the way steaming through our area, slicing and dicing Ansted, Caroline, Pullenvale, Bellberry, and of course our local area here.
As a Green, I come here tonight because the Greens believe in empowering communities, and as a local resident I come here because I want my local community to be somewhere where I can live in a healthy and sustainable way. What I wanted to do today is talk about some of the myths that have been put out. Bruce Flake sent around a lovely circular a few weeks ago saying there was all these myths. And I looked at the myths and I wasn't quite sure whether they were myths or not. First of all, a few basic truths. If we move traffic from one place to another, we don't get rid of it, we just move it from one place to another. Solving a traffic congestion in one place must, by definition, cause one in another. The growing threat to climate change means facilitating private car use at the moment is an extremely absurd idea to try and do something for the future. If we're trying to put together long-term plans to solve traffic congestion, well, I think climate change is going to do that. The price of petrol is going to do that. What we actually need is to have plans that are going to be equitable to allow people to traverse the city safely and in a way that's affordable. Building more roads is a short-term solution.
Commuting time, even better for our environment, getting cars off the roads and people into public transport.
Can I just start by, of course, acknowledging the Greens for hosting this event tonight, but can I also put on the record tonight my very great appreciation for the work that's been done by the team at Save Our Kenmore. I think they're doing great work and we ought to give them a real round of applause. And folks, thank you to all of you for being here tonight. Look, I'm here for the simple reason that I don't hate cars. I love bikes, but I don't hate cars. I don't hate people who drive cars. In fact, some of my best friends drive cars. Quite a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we're living in a world that's changing really, really, really quickly. We, I think, should consider ourselves incredibly lucky. We've lived in a world where, until recently at least, petrol was relatively cheap. We'll never see a time like it again. I've got to be honest with you today, because you should know this. Across Brisbane and across Queensland, it's popular to build roads. People like politicians who say that they're going to build roads. I think that's wrong. Not here they don't. But across Brisbane, the notion seems to be if politicians are building new roads, that's a good thing. But that... Sorry, Barry? All right. If you live in Cinnamon Park or Jindalee, where there is no train, it's not going to solve a traffic problem for you either. What it's going to do is put more people on put in one more merge on the Western Freeway, on the Centenary Highway. The Kenmore bypass will not solve a traffic problem. Barry asked, I think, a very valid question. What am I doing to stop this road? Well, let me tell you what I'm doing, Barry. I'm here with you, making very, very, very clear what my views are. Let me tell you how we're going to stop this road. We're not going to stop this road by saying, look, it just affects us locally and as a consequence, that's the reason it shouldn't happen. That's one good reason. We're going to stop it by saying to the rest of Brisbane, hey, think about this for a minute. We're smart people in Kenmore. We're smart people in Fig Tree Pocket and Indooroopilly. We're smart people in Bellberry. Building a road that costs somewhere between $500 million and $2 billion is not smart transport policy. Doesn't fix problems. We ought to be saying to the rest of Brisbane, look at us and learn from us. You know what? If you're prepared to spend, and don't get this idea that it's just one side of the parliament or one side of the government. This is Labor, Liberal, state government, local government, federal government. But we've got to change their minds on these things. You're in a great position. We're the best. This is one of the best educated suburbs in Brisbane and in Queensland. And people will listen to us when we say we've looked at this proposal and there are better alternatives. Spend the $2 billion on something that our children will be proud of. Spend the $2 billion. Spend the $2 billion on public transport infrastructure. So right about the time your children are walking out the door to go to work and they're thinking, my God, it's going to take us a long time to get to work because there's no train, there's no trams, the bus service can't cope, there aren't city cats this far up the river. Right about the time they're saying that, and they're looking at petrol prices hitting $5 or $6 a litre and they're thinking, why did we keep building roads?
You know, this huge increase in the petrol price. Maybe it's not such a bad thing, it's forcing us to think about alternatives. But that's kind of true. It's really rather rough justice on something who's just gone out and bought a nice shiny SUV on the street with all the assurances you can read almost every day in the press that climate change is a myth and that cheap oil will always be with us. And I don't think we want to be punishing people for making the wrong choices. We want to give them alternatives. And another person I spoke to was a student. He said if he takes a bus to uni from this area, it takes him an hour. That's not an alternative, that is punishment.
It's hard to keep up with the petrol price trend. It's already off the scale of this graph over $130 a barrel. The original peak oil theory illustrated by the blue line was almost exactly spot on, represented by the black dots for the United States. There are many predictions for when the worldwide peak of oil will occur, and we'll only know for sure after the event. But it would be smart to assume that we're either there or it's going to happen soon, because if that assumption is wrong, we'll at least have made a lot of great efficiency improvements which will still have value. On the other hand, if it's right, well, we don't want to be in a position where we haven't planned for peak oil and it's actually happened.
Bruce Flegg's plans on his website, which are to do with this Mogul Road expansion, clearly show the Kenmore roundabout with the shopping centre entrance closed. And you know, I meet with Main Roads and they tell me that will never happen. Whether the Kenmore bypass goes through or not, that will never happen. I say to them, well, why is it on your diagrams? Oh, well, that was just schematics. That's not real. That wasn't a real plan. Well, why are we being told as a community that it's them or us? To me, it's not them or us. It's all of us solving this situation together. And I really commend the Greens because I feel quite disempowered as a constituent of Kenmore when I've lived here all my life and I feel like I cannot go to my state member of parliament to be represented. So